Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavit Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We shall chant Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verses 6 to 10.
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते। यस्त्विन्द्रियाणि मनसा नियम्यारभतेऽर्जुन कर्मेन्द्रियैः कर्मयोगम् असक्तः स विशिष्यते। नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्म ज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः। यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर। सह यज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वम् एषवोऽस्त्विष्ट कामधुक्.
This chapter 3 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, entitled as Karma Yoga, we have studied up to shloka number 6. So, in the beginning of this chapter, Arjuna is asking, you are praising knowledge, O Sri Krishna, you are praising knowledge, but you are forcing me to do the action. Why is it? And that too, the action of killing my own guru, great-grandfather, my kith and kin. I don't understand, please explain. And then Sri Krishna explains by saying, what I condemned is only action, not doing the action with right attitude called as karma yoga. And in fact, I no doubt praised the knowledge. It's only through knowledge can anyone attain moksha, but to gain that knowledge, you have to be qualified. And that is only possible through karma yoga. When you do action in the right spirit, with right attitude, you grow to become contemplative from active, and that contemplative person takes to knowledge, and through knowledge, the person liberates. This is what he explains by saying, Lokesmin dvida anishta pura prokta mayanaga jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam. In this world, there are two categories of people. They are called as active and contemplative. For active category of people, action is prescribed. Action means karma yoga, doing the action with the right attitude. And then for contemplative people, knowledge is prescribed, doing knowledge as yoga. So he says, in this world, there is only one path, and that path is knowledge path. But for that knowledge path, you have to first qualify, and that is through action. So that path is only one, but it has two fold. First fold is active, second fold is contemplative. So active category of people have to do action and qualify and become contemplative. to gain knowledge, and through knowledge they get liberated. And then from 4, 5, 6, these three shlokas that we have seen, he says, inaction is not a means for perfection. By remaining inactive, you will not attain perfection, because externally, physically, you may remain inactive, but internally you have vasanas. Those vasanas will propel you to act, because they will manifest as thoughts and desires, and they will propel you to do the action. And if you don't do the action and suppress, let us say, supposing you don't do the action, but you suppress your desires, then you become an hypocrite, he says. So he says, first of all, none can remain without action even for a moment, because your vasanas will force you to act. And inaction is not a solution, and inaction will only make you an hypocrite. It will drive you to frustration, mental agitation. It will in fact increase your vasanas. It will in fact increase your desires. By physically not acting, which is what he explained in verse number 6, the last shloka that we saw, karmendriyani samyamya, controlling the organs of action. Yaha, yaha means whoever, one who, aste, sitting down, manasasmaran indriyartan. Manasasmaran means mentally thinking, remembering what? Indriyartan means indriya vishaya. Indriya vishaya means sense objects, objects in the world, thinking about the world. Physically not doing any action, portraying to be a sannyasi externally, but mentally ruminating over the worldly thoughts. Such a person will only increase desires. He'll get more and more frustrated. At least the fellow who is acting in the world may get certain desires fulfilled, enjoys a little bit of the world, may be agitated, that's a different thing. But he will still be enjoying a little bit of the world. Whereas this fellow who is frustrating himself by not contacting the world, but portraying to be a sannyasi, mentally indulging upon the thoughts of the world, he will neither get this world, nor will he exhaust the desires and move spiritually towards the self. Therefore, he will only be a hypocrite. So then what is the solution? Because we have seen in the class that if I say, okay, let me indulge in my desires. I have these desires. I've decided I'm going to indulge in these desires to get rid of these desires. What happens? Such a person also increases the desires, because the thought is upon the result all the time. And how do we increase the desires? By constant, unintelligent, unconscious thinking, we increase the vasanas desires. So a person who's indulging is constantly thinking about the results, the worldly contacts, objects. Therefore, he will increase the vasanas. So indulging fellow increases vasanas. Then what about the fellows who are forcefully, mindlessly withdrawing, self-denial? Such people also increase vasanas, because physically you may not be doing anything, but mentally you will be thinking about it. Therefore, you will be increasing the vasanas. You will also be frustrated. So indulging is not a solution. Denial, withdrawal is not a solution. Then what can I do? This Sri Krishna explains beautifully from shloka number, in fact in shloka number 7. Then from 8 onwards, he starts getting little more in detail into Karma Yoga. We've already seen Karma Yoga in a nutshell in the second chapter. The second chapter of Gita is already introduced everything. But now from 8 onwards, he'll go into much more detail. So in 7, he is now introducing Karma Yoga. Then from 8 onwards, he'll go into more details. So in 6, what did he say? Organs of action is controlled, withdrawn. We have 2 set of organs called as organs of perception, organs of action. Organs of perceptions are through the organs that you see something, hear something, smell, taste, touch, and then you gain knowledge. Hence, they are called as jnana indriyas. Through organs of perception, you gain knowledge. Hence, they are called as jnana indriyas. Then, through organs of action, like hands, feet, etc., you do the action. Hence, they are called as karma indriyas. So what is happening in the world is, when we are contacting this world, the world is entering into our personality through the organs of perception. Then they are reacting with the vasanas, desires inside. Inside means in the inner personality, the mind. Then, depending upon the reaction, we send out response through the organs of action. This is what is happening to us. From the time we wake up till the time we go to bed. This is happening to us constantly. Organs of perception receiving the stimuli, they enter into our system, mind reacts, and we send out response back into the world through the organs of action. So what did he say in verse number 6? He said, people who are controlling, withdrawing the organs of action. What does it mean? It means physically they are not acting, but mentally thinking about the world. What is it? We have to understand that those people have no control with reference to their organs of perception and their mind. They are allowing all kinds of stimuli to come into them and also mentally indulging in the thoughts of the world. And he said that is very, very dangerous, because organs of action's role comes much later. Organs of perception's role comes first, isn't it? We are receiving the stimuli from the world outside and we are thinking about it, and we have increased the vasanas which are all there in our inner personality, in the causal personality, which manifests as thoughts and desires. With that only the stimuli is reacting. So now, if you only merely control the organs of action, what is the use? You may be putting on an act to the world that you are evolved, but you know very well that you have not evolved. So that's not a solution at all. That is dangerous. Then what am I supposed to do? How do I handle these equipments? Ultimately, we need to learn about handling these equipments. One is the stimuli entry. Other is through improper living, I have gathered a lot of vasanas and desires which is making me react. And the third is responding into the world. I should understand all these things, then I understand how to act in this world. And this is what he's talking about. Let's get on to shloka number 7. Let's chant verse number 7 together now.
यस्त्विन्द्रियाणि मनसा नियम्यारभतेऽर्जुन कर्मेन्द्रियैः कर्मयोगम् असक्तः स विशिष्यते.
But he who restraining the senses, when he says senses, he means the organs of perception. But he who restraining the senses by the mind, O Arjuna, engages his organs of action in the yoga of action without attachment, he excels. Without attachment. Asaktaha. Asaktaha means without attachment. Saha vishishyate. Saha vishishyate means that person excels. So what is he saying? Yes, indriyani, yaha indriyani manasa niyamya arabate. What he's saying is, one who controls the senses by the mind. One who controls the senses by the mind is one interpretation. Other interpretation is one who controls the senses and the mind. If you have to control the senses and the mind, what controls the senses and the mind? The intellect. You understand? So when we talk about one who controls the senses and the mind, by what do you control? By the intellect, by the buddhi. You understand? This is called buddhi. Earlier he mentioned this as buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga means karma yoga. In the second chapter, no, he talked about it as buddhi yoga. And we said it is nothing but karma yoga. Why? With the buddhi, you control the organs of perception and then the mind. Then what you are supposed to do? engage your organs of action in what? In karma yoga. Karmendriyai karma yogam. You have to engage the organs of action in karma yoga, in the path of action, in the yoga of action. How? Asaktaha, without attachment. If you do that, whoever you may be, you will excel. So the path to excellence, he explains here. He says, karma yogam, when you do, karmendriyai karma yogam, asakta saha vishishyate. That person excels. So how to excel in life? He's explaining. Excel means you will excel in the world, enjoy the world, exhaust the vasanas, and you spiritually evolve and excel in spiritual field as well by liberating and attaining moksha. So Vedanta is talking about doing action in the spirit of yoga and attaining perfection. Not talking about dropping action physically. It is never talking about it. It has to be understood correctly. So, like I said, what is happening? The world is entering into us through the organs of perception. And then it is reacting with our mind. Right? And physically, we are not doing anything by controlling the organs of action. Is it going to help us? No. So then what we are supposed to do? You have to bring in your buddhi and make sure that what is getting into you, is it helpful for your evolution? Is it in the betterment of your life and living, or is it against you? Like you have a God, isn't it? And again today, new God is there, Nietzsche. The old one knows. I come, park the car, give the keys to him. This new God said, sir, where are you going? If somebody has to take the car, what will I do? So I had to explain to him. You have a guard, right? So there is control at the entrance. There is no guard with reference to our life. Simply anything and everything is okay. You understand? That is how we are living. So he says, first employ a guard there. In the entrance itself, control. Why you have to allow all unnecessary stuff and then suffer with it? Prevention is better than cure, no? So therefore he says, sense control. Sense control is not sense denial. Sense control means directing the senses, tying up the senses with the purpose, with the goal, with happiness, with evolution. That's called sense control. So only those things that are allowed to enter, you say, okay, come. Right. But this is what you're going to do from now on. But already you have done all wrong things, which has already gone inside your system. See, we are all like that, glass of water in which there is little sand. But the sand is already settled. Okay. And the sand is at the bottom. Now, generally the water looks clean. Now, you put a spoon into the tumbler, into the glass, and then stir it, everything comes up. Like that. Now on, if you start practicing what he says, what about the vasanas that has already gone? Are you with me? So he says, you have to direct those vasanas. You can make sure that you don't allow nonsense into you, unnecessary stuff into you. But what about the desires which are already there? He says that has to be directed. So what do you have to do? Engage in the organs of action employed in activity. Engage your organs of action in activities. You understand? How? In the spirit of karma yoga. Yoga word, when it is introduced, what does that do is, it eliminates everything that is associated with it. When you associate yoga with action, it helps you to evolve. When you associate yoga with jnanam, It helps you to evolve. Which means what? There is bhakti, there is dedication towards higher. Bhakti means love for higher. Bhakti is nothing but love. But the love towards the higher, doing it with the right attitude, doing it as a dedication for the higher. You understand? So therefore, what you have to do is, you have to engage in the organs of action. Engage in the action using your organs of action, directing it towards the higher karma yoga. Then you excel. Now, what is he trying to say? How do you understand this? Let's see how to understand this with an example. Now, on Ganesh Chaturthi, you worship Lord Ganesha. On the previous day itself, you buy whatever necessary ingredients to be bought to make the modak, because it is very, very liked by Lord Ganesha as per our Puranas. So you want to make the modak yourself and offer it to the Lord. So what do? You buy all the best ingredients possible from the shop or order it online, whatever it is. And then next day morning, on the day of Ganesh Chaturthi, you wake up early, you take bath, and then you do the puja, and then start making the modak. Right? Incidentally, you may also like modak. You may also like modak. You may also have desire for modak. But now, while you are making modak, where is your thought? This is for Lord. This is an offering for the Lord. This is an offering for the Lord. So, while you are cooking, you are sensing the aroma. Right? But thought is Bhagavan, Bhagavan, Bhagavan. All the time Bhagavan. Right? We place the word Bhagavan with goal. Right? So in Ganesh Chaturthi, what is happening? You're going on thinking about Bhagavan, the Lord, and then you're preparing, and then you finally offer it to the Lord in the puja room. You do puja. Then afterwards, you take it as prasad. Isn't it? Afterwards, after offering it to the Lord, you consume it as prasad. In all these exercise, even though you may be liking the prasad, the modak, thought is of Bhagavan, not of modak. Isn't it? So therefore, you're not going to increase the desire for modak. And in this, if you see, there's a lot of mind control also. What in the modern management context they talk about it as what is that? Delayed gratification. Isn't it? You're delaying your gratification, thinking about the higher, controlling of senses and mind is already come in it. And when you offer it to the Lord, and then finally you are accepting it, taking it as prasad, you are also fulfilling your desires. Are you getting it? So therefore, similarly, he is telling, do all your actions, because you have gathered a lot of vasanas in this janma or in many janmas. These vasanas needs to be directed. So you have to go into the laboratory, which is the world. Laboratory is the world. You have to go into the world and start acting, but act like this. Yastvindriyani manasa niyamyarabate arjuna karmendriyai karma yogam asaktasya vishishyate. So this asakta, what is it? While cooking, while preparing the modak, and while doing the puja also, there is no attachment to the modak. Isn't it? There is no attachment to the sweet that he is offering. Similarly, while you are acting, there is no thought of the results, nothing. And you are only doing it as an offering for a higher purpose, higher goal, not just for your selfish purpose. Then when you function like that, what is happening? Your buddhi is so much aware there, controlling your senses and mind, and buddhi is keeping you on the Lord, on the goal. That's why it's called as buddhi yoga, karma yoga. And it is done with bhakti. Karma plus bhakti, karma yoga. Bhakti plus bhakti will become bhakti yoga. You do bhakti practices, archanam, pada sevanam, Atma Nivedanam is the final step in bhakti. All that has to be done with bhakti. No? Mechanically do it, won't become bhakti yoga. Similarly, jnanam. We are studying now. If you do it with bhakti, it becomes yoga. So when you do it with the right attitude, without thinking, that thought is on the higher, not on the lower. The fact that you are constantly thinking about the higher, you are trying the lower, isn't it? You are not focusing on the lower. So slowly, the strength, the intensity wanes away, and the desire also wanes away. You have also experienced, at the same time, you have not increased the intensity, it wanes away. You evolve, you mature. Anything, when it is turned upwards, it wanes away. That's why even in the puja room, when you're doing puja, you get the flowers from the garden. The garden is actually Bhagavan's. Though it may be inside your house, it actually belongs to God. That's why when you do Aarti, we say, Tera tujhko arpan kya lage mera. I am offering yours to you. What is in it that I can call myself as mine? No, nothing is mine. So, with that bow, what we do, we take the flower, keeping our fingers pointed downwards, isn't it? And then turn it upwards and then offer it at the feet of the Lord in the puja room. This is how you're supposed to do puja. You're not supposed to pick up and throw it like this. You understand? Om Shuklam Bharadram Vishnum Sajivarnam Chaturbhujam. Not throw it like that. You are supposed to, as you are chanting the shloka, with awareness, with your buddhi, you point your fingers downward, take the flowers one by one, turn it upward and offer it at the feet of the Lord. This way you do, isn't it? Kaika Vachika Manasa. That is the physical body, organ of speech, and the entire organs like hands and everything, and Manas, mind, is all integrated towards the divinity. You understand? Kaika, Vachika, Manasa. All are directed towards that divinity, higher purpose, higher goal. Thus, when we offer, the flower has fragrance. It has the vas fragrance. Vasana comes from the root vas, which means fragrance. Isn't it? So, when your fingers are pointing downwards, you pick up the flower, vasana. When you turn it upward, the vasana drops. So all we are supposed to do is, by constantly thinking about the world unintelligently, without bringing in the buddhi, we have picked up vasanas. Now with buddhi, we have to turn it upwards, then the vasanas drop. This is the idea. This is the symbolism. You understand? So when we do it like this, then when our organs of action is engaged in karma yoga this way, the existing desires wane away, dissolve. We also would have fulfilled the desires, enjoyed it because we take it as prasad afterwards, and then we'll be moving towards the higher. So this is what he says. You should not be controlling organs of action. You should be controlling organs of perception and the mind. With your buddhi, fixing a goal, directing all your actions towards that without attachment. This is the way to excel. The path to excellence is karma yoga. The path to stress and strain is inaction or desire-ridden action. And all that we are doing in this world is either we are inactive, which causes stress, or we are doing actions which are propelled by desires. They are unintelligent activities, not karma yoga. Therefore, we are suffering from stress and strain. So if we want to really excel, enjoy the world and evolve, become mature, we need to follow karma yoga, he says. So having said this, now he is going to go little slowly into more details into karma yoga from shloka number 8. So this is what. So you must understand. The thought flow is brilliant, isn't it? Inaction is not the solution. And you cannot remain inactive because vasanas are there. If you remain inactive physically, but mentally thinking about it, you'll become a hypocrite. So what is important is not the lifestyle. What is important is your actions, your sadhana. Therefore, do the sadhana of karma, yoga, and qualify to become a jnani or to gain knowledge. Jnana yogyata you develop, gain knowledge and liberate. So now he's going to get into more details on the discussion of karma yoga. Let's see that from verse number 8. Let's chant shloka number 8.
नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्म ज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः.
Perform your obligatory action. Niyatam kuru. Niyatam kuru means you must do your obligatory action, obligatory duty. Why? For action is superior to inaction. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Do your niyatam karma. You should do niyatam karma. You should perform your obligatory duties. Why? Karma jayohya karmanaha. Because karma, action, is superior to inaction. And then he says, even the maintenance of your body would not be possible by inaction. Sharira yatra. We are all in the yatra, journey, through this body, in this body. So he says, Sharira yatra pichate. Going in this body, moving in this body, we need to act, because if you don't, we won't be even maintaining the body. So he says, even the maintenance of your body would not be possible through inaction. Sharira yatra pichate na prasidhyeda karmanaha. Akarma will not help. Being inactive will not help. You must start doing action. Now, action, okay. Karma yoga, okay. Right? Now, how do I do? What kind of actions I must do? I must know what kind of actions I must do, how I must do it. Then, okay, I have to do. I have so many desires that I have gathered, which are there in me. There may be some desires for stealing. There may be some desires for hurting somebody. You understand? Now, shall I justify by saying, I am only going to offer it to Bhagavan, so I will steal and offer it to Bhagavan? Can I say that? So what kind of actions am I going to do it as karma yoga? Within those desires that are already there in me, I need to know how to go about, isn't it? So he introduces a word called niyatam karma. Niyatam karma means obligatory actions. Now, how do I understand what are my obligatory actions? In fact, Vedanta talks about not only niyatam karma, which he is mentioning here, it also talks about nishiddha karma, forbidden actions, what you're not supposed to. Right? What kind of actions you're not supposed to. Nishiddha karma. And then Shastra also talks about something called as kamya karma. Desire-ridden actions. Like-propelled actions. Right? And then they also talk about prayaschitta karma. What are prayaschitta karma? What do you call as prayaschitta karma? What does prayaschitta means? Huh? What does prayaschitta mean?
Repentance.
Repentance, correct. So I have done something wrong. I want to reduce the effect of it or nullify the effect. So there are prayaschitta karma. Right? So Shastras talk about niyatam karma, nishiddha karma, prayaschitta karma, kamya karma. And nishiddha karma is something that we are not supposed to do. Forbidden actions. What would you call as forbidden action generally? Those activities which will help, which will take me downwards, which will make me devolve, not help me evolve. Those actions which will take away my awareness, isn't it? Like drinking, drugging. Now, why do we say, why Shastras are against alcohol? You understand? Why are they talking about it like that? Because it robs your awareness, isn't it? All the crimes, when you investigate, many of them have done it under the influence of something or the other. So I explained this in one of the classes before also. See, it's like you allow anybody in the sense, somebody has come to visit you, known to you directly or indirectly, or they've come on some official purpose or something, you allow them to your lounge, maximum, isn't it? You're not going to allow them into your kitchen, your bedrooms, other rooms, right? Your close friends, they're okay. Why? You may not be keeping the kitchen clean, the bedrooms clean, many other purposes, many other reasons are there. Now, we are like that. Our conscious mind is saying Hari Om, Aye Aye, Namaskar. But inside all kinds of kacharas are there in the subconscious. Isn't it? Inside all kinds of kachara is there. Dirt is there. So up to conscious mind, everybody knows us. You know about your subconscious also. Isn't it? So now what happens is, when you take these kind of stuff, alcohol, drugs, etc., what do? They dull your conscious mind, isn't it? You lose the capacity to control. So what happens is, the subconscious takes over. And in the subconscious, there's a lot of rubbish, let's say. Then you get an opportunity, you see it as that as an opportunity, and you start committing that kind of a mistake or a crime. So therefore, these are nishiddha. They are dangerous. They rob your awareness. Similarly, food also. This food is okay, this food is not okay. Why do they say that? If there are certain type of food which is so difficult for you to digest. I remember in many years ago, due to certain reasons, the weekly classes used to be in the night, 8:30 to 10. So, 8:30 to 10, those days 1.5 hours class. Now 1 hour class also, a lot of people finding it difficult. Schools are having 40 minutes class. So maybe we need to slowly reduce also. In the YouTube shorts, it is 59 seconds. You understand? Everything has to be given in 59 seconds. So the thing is, 8:30 to 10 in the evening, night class. A lot of people have eaten their dinner and they're coming and sitting there. Air-conditioned rooms, they're sitting, and I generally try to have my food only after the class. I can't eat the class and eat before the class and take the class. So most of the guys have eaten and they're sitting there in the class. AC is hitting, the louvers are nicely pointed towards the head. So we come and start the class, Om Sanavatu, and then we start the chanting. Chanting goes for almost 3 to 5 minutes. And you've eaten a lot of potato, curd rice, and the serotonin starts secreting. And then you are in a different kind of a mood. Where are you going to study Bhagavad Gita? Or anything for that matter. So slowly, I struggled, and then we converted that class. I succeeded, luckily, by God's grace, to next day morning, Thursday morning, 5:30 to 6:45 in the morning. Okay. Initially, they resisted. 5:30, how is it possible? Slowly, 5:30, everybody came. And they started enjoying. Because in that country, this was in a different country. They had to work morning, they go to work by 8 o'clock, they have to start working. So we said 5:30 to 7:40. Because they work from 8 to 1, and then 4 to 7. That's why the classes were at 8:30. Now, I said, listen, 5:30 to 6:45, let's try. If it doesn't work out, let's get back. And they agreed. So what I'm trying to say is, the food, the time, everything has to be conducive. isn't it? It's all directed towards that higher. That's the whole idea. All that Shastra says is from that angle only. So when it says Nishiddha, it is forbidden. It is forbidden in the sense it is not helpful. Not only it's not helpful, it is going to bring the adverse result. It's going to help us develop more tamas and rajas rather than sattva. So therefore it is Nishiddha. Then when it comes to Kamya karma means, I told you, desire-ridden actions. What Shastra says is, in that Kamya karma also, some desires are too powerful. Some desires are not that powerful. Right? With the help of your intellect, you tried gaining the knowledge and all that, still the desire is not going. But it's just an innocuous desire, let's say. Right? With the help of your desire, you may fulfill it. Just for the sake of fulfilling it. So one of the examples we give is, like you are sitting in the class and listening to this class, you get the urge to go to the restroom. Right? Within 15 minutes of the class, you started getting the urge, pressure. You say, okay, let me control. And then 8:30, half an hour, pressure is building. And about 40 minutes, you say, let me just go and then come back. The purpose is what? To get back. Right? This is a disturbance. So, these are allowed in the karmas that are not very strong. In the desires that are very strong, if you do, the danger is you'll go in that direction. You won't come back. Like when you're driving the car on a highway, and if there is some road work going on, what do they say? They'll put a board there. Men at work. Take diversion. So little bit of diversion to come back. Only in the desires that are not too powerful. Innocuous desires. Kamya karma. Chalo, theek hai. That also, we say, okay, you study the Shastra, you develop the buddhi, and then after having tried not contacting it, and seeing if it will go away, still not gone, then okay. But in the, powerful desires area, don't do that. Are you with me? You have to still establish yourself in knowledge. Then comes prayaschitta karma. Now, as far as this prayaschitta karma is concerned, now we must get back to what we have studied before. Prarabdha and sanchita and agami. Sanchita means total vasanas. Prarabdha means those vasanas that propelled you to take birth. And then agami, which is the desires that you have created now. So now you have a certain prarabdha, destiny. You have done certain actions in the past. Some of them, you've done it with such intensity, it's too powerful. You cannot really repent and sort it out. It's not possible. Are you with me? But certain things which are very, not so strong karmas, prarabdhas, that they say you can get rid of. Now, through prayaschitta, I'll give you an example. Supposing you are somebody who pays your credit card bills on time. But after many years of you paying on time, once you slipped, for whatever reasons, instead of paying on the day, you paid next day. But they levy some cost for it. Na? They put some cost for it. So you can call them up. They listen, sorry, you can see my history. I've never delayed my payment. Everything I've done on time. So this time, please see if you can waive it. And maybe they'll waive it. Isn't it? So there is this kind of prayaschitta is there. But even that, what Shastra says is, develop right attitude towards your prayaschitta, towards your wrong actions. In the sense, due to wrong actions, when something happens to you, try to accept it rather than doing prayaschitta karma. Because of this prayaschitta karma, all of us go to astrologers and do this and that. And when you go to astrologers also, majority of them tell you what? Go to this temple, do dhanam, anna dhanam karo, or go dhanam karo, give a dhanam, a cow as a dhanam, or do this, give food to everybody, something or the other, some good things they tell you, right? So instead of that, what Vedanta says is, develop this attitude, you bow down and accept it, so that you develop more and more strength inside, rather than going into doing all this kind of prayaschitta karma, because the whole day then go in prayaschitta karma. This is what is happening to a lot of people after retirement. Everything is prayaschitta, because you did so much of pap. Your mind is feeling guilty maybe. So you are going to this temple, that temple. I'm not saying everybody. Some people are only going into trying to get rid of their karma. I don't want this. I don't want this pap. I don't want that pap. Instead of all that, yes, I've done it. Maybe I've done it. Obviously, I've done it unknowingly. Right? Unknowingly means I could have knowingly done, but unknowingly of these things that we are studying. So now I understand, so I should have not done it. Whatever happened, I did it. Now let me accept the prasad. Whatever comes. This should be your attitude towards your actions that was done in the past. Now, niyatam karma. When you come to niyatam karma, obligatory actions, obligatory duty. It talks about two kinds of obligatory duties, called as nitya karma and naimittika karma. Nitya karma means daily, routine, obligatory duty. Naimittika karma means special obligatory duty, which happens once in a while. Isn't it? So, it says, niyatam karma is what this shloka said now. So, niyatam karma is what? Daily, routine, obligatory duty and special obligatory duty. Now, how do you know what is your obligatory duty? What are the factors that can determine your obligatory duty? That we should know, no? How do we determine this? How does Shastra help us in this? Shastra says, look at yourself from the ashrama point of view. We have 4 ashramas that we have discussed, no? What are the 4 ashramas? Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. Isn't it? Are you in the student ashrama? Are you in the Grahastha ashrama? Or are you in the Vanaprastha, semi-retired, and Sannyas, totally retired, reflective, contemplative ashrama? Where are you? According to that, there are certain things that you are supposed to do. There are certain things that you are not supposed to do. Physically, mentally, intellectually. Isn't it? And then within the ashrama, like as a student, you're supposed to study. Right? And then you're supposed to do other things which will help you indirectly for studying. Right? As a student, not only you're supposed to study, you're supposed to have that strength in you to keep on studying and strengthening yourself. So whatever helps you, that you have to do. Similarly, as a grahastha, right? Are you a father, mother, daughter, son, brother, sister? What is the role? Accordingly, there are certain obligatory duties. Based on this, you determine your obligatory duty. Then, second is, you determine your obligatory duty based on your goal. And in Vedanta, when we say goal, goal is something beyond your selfish, self-centered interest. And whatever will help you to achieve that goal, all those things become your obligatory duty. All those things that will take you away from that goal becomes your nishiddha karma. Remember, forbidden. You should not do that. Right? So based on the goal, you can determine. Then gratitude, indebtedness. We have all been receiving from the time we are born. We are indebted. Right? So in all those areas of indebtedness, I have an obligation to pay back. Are you with me? So I have obligatory duties towards those factors to which I am indebted. Now, in this context, Shastras talk about Pancha Mahayajna. What are these Pancha Mahayajna? What is it called? It's called as Brahma Yajna or Rishi Rina. Brahma Yajna or Rishi Rina. And then Deva Yajna and Pitri Yajna, Bhuta Yajna and Manushya Yajna. These are the 5 yajnas. Doing your actions in the spirit of sacrifice is called yajna, and it talks about these 5 yajnas. Brahma Yajna or Rishi Rina. Then comes Deva Yajna. Then comes Pitru Yajna. Then comes Bhuta Yajna. Then comes Manushya Yajna. So you start from down now. First is you have obligation towards Manushya, human beings. Can we live in this world without other human beings' contribution? Can we live in this world without other species' contribution? Not possible. Can we live in this world without the ecological contribution? Is it possible? So is it not our obligation to maintain the ecological balance? Are you with me? So therefore, he talks about all these things. So he says, first, you have an obligatory towards your fellow beings. Then you have an obligation towards the other species. Then you have an obligation towards the Pitru, ancestors, without whom you won't be existing now. Then you have an obligation towards the entire ecology. Then you have obligation towards the divinity, the sages and saints who have given us this knowledge with no selfish tinge whatsoever. If they had not followed this parampara, we won't be sitting and reading Gita now, isn't it? So we have a rina to be paid back to the rishis. That is what is called as rishi rina. So how do you really pay back to the rishis? You can't pay back to them. The only way you can pay back to them is by studying and reflecting on the scriptures and trying to live up to what is the scriptures talking about. This is called rishi rina. You understand? So that is Brahma Yajna, or doing Yajna for the sake of realizing the Brahman, realizing my own self. And when you do that, you become internally strong. Your real strength lies in getting totally enlightened. As long as you remain in ignorance, you won't be able to help yourself nor help anybody else. So the real service you can do to the world is only when you get enlightened. So anything and everything that you have to do to get enlightened becomes your obligation. Are you with me? So Brahma Yajna, Deva Yajna, Pitri Yajna, Bhuta Yajna, Manushya Yajna. All these are obligatory actions. So when he said Niyatam Kuru, based on these factors, you determine your Dinachara. Dinacharya means the daily schedule. Isn't this how you have to fix your daily schedule? Right? He's actually talking about time management in a way. Once all this is clear, then you will be able to manage your time. Isn't it? So what do? Then you say, okay, these days, these times, I'll do these things. I can't do everything in the same day. So certain things I'll do the next day. So there's a schedule, Dinacharya. That becomes your daily routine obligatory duty. While you are going on doing that, depending upon whether you are a brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyas, also depending upon the other thing, whether you are brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra. Brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra will depend upon your gunas, not by your birth. You understand? Based on all these factors, you determine a daily schedule and you follow that, Dinacharya. And then sometimes suddenly some special obligatory duty comes. Isn't it? Something happened in your neighbor's house. they need help. You can't say, listen, I have this daily schedule, I can't. No, you have to say, okay, in this context, the special obligatory duty takes precedence over the daily obligatory duty. You can't say, this is my yoga time. Will you say that? Somebody is suffering there, about to die. You have to call the ambulance. You can't say, it's my yoga time. There's nobody to help him. Isn't it? So, special obligatory duty. So, nitya karma, naimitika karma. So, he says, niyatam kuru karmatvam, karma jayogya karma. So, doing these obligatory duties based on all these factors analyzed by your buddhi, intellect. Right? And then, this kind of action is superior to inaction. Niyatam kuru karmatvam, karma jayohya karmanaha. And then, even the traveling in this body, Sharira Yatra will not be good for you, will not help you if you don't do it. Therefore, you have to do it. Even the maintenance of your body would not be possible by inaction. If you rest, you will rest. Inaction will lead you to death only. No? Action is the insignia of life. Inaction is death. Therefore, you have to do action in this way. This is what he spoken in this shloka, shloka number 8. Let's conclude. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.